All right, we're live. Woohoo!
All right.
So yeah, this should be pretty cool. Pretty much a tie with another band from my all-time favorite band. So kind of an effortless topic.
What's your other one?
It's a tie with Rush, Black Sabbath
Oh,
and
okay.
Rush.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'd say like Rush has my favorite album of all time, which is Moving Pictures, but I think
Mhm.
Black Sabbath have a more consistent discography.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm one
In
of
my
those.
opinion.
I'm a weirdo that gets into those like '80s keyboard rush albums. So I know that's
No,
a
I like those too. Yeah, but the '90s and on for me is pretty shaky. I don't think they ever had a terrible album. Just some for me don't grab me as much.
yeah. I got you.
Yeah, no, I love '80s Rush. I even love Hold Your Fire. I don't understand why so many people hate that album.
That if I ever did a rush ranking and people saw how I put Hold Your Fire, I would probably be lynched.
I
Like,
don't see the problem. Every time I listen to it, I expect to like, all right, one of these days I'm just gonna start hating it. And every time I listen to it, I just dig the shit out of it. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's catchy and fun and
yeah, but it
and
still has the
emotional, and I
musicianship.
don't know. I just like everything about it.
Yeah, it's still got like Neil Peart's drumming is fucking awesome on that album. I mean,
Mhm.
Alex's guitars, maybe it's a little less heavy, but it still has like 90% of the elements that I want from Rush. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
guess it has some sappy stuff, but not it's I don't know, it's not that much. I can deal with it. So yeah, this should be I don't know if you ever watched it. Did you ever watch my original Black Sabbath ranking that I did back in like 2018?
I'm pretty sure I did. I didn't go back and look,
Yeah.
but I really don't remember.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. I just didn't know what I was doing. Like I started with my number one album and worked my way down, which is kind of
Oh,
lame.
okay.
And
Yeah.
plus, like I was trying too hard. I think to like I was more going with how I felt at the time, and now I tried to look at it as like how what I think about the album overall. Maybe I'm tired of a certain album, but that doesn't mean it's not really really good.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think I'm going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say honest, but a little bit more, I don't know, intuitive this time or something like that. But
Okay. I kind of went the other way with mine.
it's hard
Um,
not to. That's hard.
it's
I
it,
know.
it's with a couple exceptions, I really like them all, so it's not like I'm trying to crap on anything, but
Yeah.
I,
Same
I
here.
kind of went with my listing of what do I enjoy listening to the most right now. So
Yeah. That's what I did. Although I mean, this is probably if I were to do one of these like every year, it'd probably be a little bit different every year. So I
yeah.
I try to like do a definitive thing, but it's kind of hard to because
Well, yeah. Even like when you brought this up, I was just like, well, let me just quick jot down what I think, and I got a list. I was like, all right, that's cool. I'm happy with that. And then I was putting them in order, and I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? No, and
yeah,
I switched a couple, but so
yeah,
yeah, it just depends.
I did the same thing. I think it's going to be it's going to be a little different than the one I did 5 years ago, but probably not too different. Um, yeah, a little different. But anyways, yeah, I guess we can start with some cool. If you have any cool Sabbath stuff, I don't have a ton. I just have like I was actually just watching this Never Say Die tour DVD. It's pretty
Nice.
awesome. You might be wondering like, why the
Now
hell
my
would
audio
you
did go out.
did it?
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right.
We are back.
No worries. Um, but yeah, you might be wondering why they would release a DVD for this album cycle. I guess somebody from what it says on the back, I guess somebody was like, "Oh, it's cool," just because this was one of Ozzy's last shows, with Black Sabbath. So I guess that makes it pretty cool. And I thought that there's a lot of turmoil in the band around that time, so I thought that this would be really maybe they would come off really uninspired, but they don't. This DVD is awesome. It's like I said, it's one of Ozzy's last shows with the band, but it you wouldn't know it. Here, let me get Scott back here. All right, how are you now?
Fine right now. It
Okay.
says on
Yeah.
StreamYard, it says if you have audio issues, maybe use headphones. So if it happens again, I'm just gonna run and grab some headphones.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I was just saying. I was talking about how you might expect this to be not a very good tour, just because it was like one of the last things Ozzy did with the band. But this actually kicks ass. I got to give them a lot of credit for how much turmoil they had in the band and like how good their live performance was.
Oh,
So
cool. That's good to hear. Because yeah,
not
the lore is like, they all hated each other and the shows sucked, and Van Halen opened for them and blew them away every night. So
and
yeah,
they're all heavy into drug use and stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's fair to say you can tell Geezer's on some uppers.
Oh
Yeah. He looks a little bit animated, but hey,
yeah.
it probably made the show better. And then I have, I think if I remember correctly, this is a bootleg. This Live at Last. You have this?
Yeah, like some, I guess you'd call it, right?
It's pretty good. It's it's not like one of those live albums where everything is touched up and
Yeah, yeah.
made to sound like a studio album. It's raw, but it's cool. This is one of the first vinyl records I ever bought.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, I bought this when I was a teenager, way before I even had a record player. I was just like, whoa, I gotta have that.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that was a record company decision to rush something out.
Because they
To
didn't have a live album, right? Wasn't it their first
right.
actual live album?
Yeah, I think it was after Never Say Die came out.
Yeah.
And then they did reissue it as one of the discs of the past lives.
Oh yeah.
So it has officially been released now.
Yeah. I guess they were like, well, let's make use out of this, I guess. Yeah. I also have it on CD. Just
Sharon
because,
Osbourne approved it.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, she's like, well, it's already done. We don't have to really pay any money for it or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And then I have, oh my God, how many versions of this do I have? You probably have the Live Evil double album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why they didn't put this in one case?
Oh, is that the one of the two separate jewel cases?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have that.
Yeah.
I had everything. Then I rebought everything when the Castle reissues came out in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd kept the old Live Evil, because on the Castle reissues, they snipped out like no music, but like some of the banter and in between song stuff. So it would fit on one disc.
Oh,
So
I see.
I have
probably just a little bit over or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like 82 minutes or something. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I bet you have these. If not, I bet you remember them. Remember these tributes, the NIB tributes?
Yep.
Some of them are good.
I really liked the first one. The second one kind of went off the rails, as I remember.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I had the second one. I don't know what happened to it. Obviously nothing mandatory. It's just some of the songs are kind of cool.
I didn't think about pulling tribute albums. I've got like the Earache one that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And then I think Dwell, the the dollar store tribute album company. They put out, I think, 2 of them, and
I'm sure they did.
Ted Kirkpatrick from Tourniquet. I don't know. They're a Jesus metal band. I don't know if you know them.
I do know Tourniquet.
He did one with it was really weird. Like, he got Chris Jericho to sing a song, and Doug Pinnick from King's X sings a song.
That's cool.
But yeah, those are fun.
I didn't know about that. It's funny. Yeah, my history with the band, I don't know about you, but so when I was a teenager, I was like huge Ozzy fan. I'm not sure how that happened. You know how it goes when you're younger, and that was like pre-internet. You just don't know stuff. So
yeah.
I loved Ozzy for the longest time, and then I think when I was like 16, I was like, I should probably check out this band Ozzy was in, because I love him. And so my dad used to have this box of tapes in our basement that like my uncle gave him that he just didn't really want anything to do with, all these mixtapes and stuff. And I would just go through them. And I remember one of the comps my uncle made had Black Sabbath, the song on there. And that song scared me so bad. Like I was like, never, I'm not into Black Sabbath. I'm never going to listen to this again. I was terrified. I had never heard anything scary like that before. And I didn't revisit it for probably, I don't think it was long, for like 6 months. I was like, that was pretty cool. But I went back into it. And then after I got into Black Sabbath, now I'm not a big Ozzy solo fan anymore.
Right.
It just happens.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's similar to me. I was a big Ozzy fan. I was like 13, 14 and just getting into metal, and
what would that be, early 90s or
early 90s or like 89, 90. And this, to me, it was like, I don't know, this is an Ozzy album. I don't know.
That's a cool, I like it. I like that album.
and listen to it, and it was like, wow, this sounds way different than like
Yeah.
Crazy Train.
What do you think
And
about that album? Do you like it, or some people hate it?
I know some people hate it, and I know it's like live. It's one of those that apparently it was pretty much a studio creation, but
Oh,
I don't like this fucking reissue with the shitty like tiny album cover.
yeah, I had some of those too.
It's this was in the era I had to rebuy everything when the new shit came out. So yeah, there's the real album cover.
Yeah. What was his name again? What was the guitarist on that album? Or
Was it
it was
Tommy Aldridge?
was
Was
it
that?
no, Tommy Aldridge is the drummer. Or
Oh, the drummer.
yeah, what was the guitar player? It
Oh,
was
Brad Gillis.
yeah, Brad Gillis. So he's playing all these crazy shreddy solos and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
I
I think
like
it's
it.
cool.
I mean, it is, it's kind of my first Black Sabbath album, so I'll always like it. I understand its flaws, but
Yeah. Some people absolutely hate it. Like,
yeah, I
I
can
won't
imagine.
stand for it. Just I don't know. I think it's fun for what it is.
And it was one of those things that, like, I'd heard the name Black Sabbath, but Ozzy to me was like God. And then I heard, like,
Yeah, same here.
do you know Ozzy was in Black Sabbath? I was like, whoa, no, I didn't know that. And
Yeah. And
and
I love the history. I love how like I have fans that fans. I don't have fans. I have friends that are that like Black Sabbath quite a bit, and it's funny. They'll be like, I'll be like anything after like the first Dio album. Like, what do you think about this? And they're like, I didn't even know that existed. Like,
yeah.
it's so
Yeah,
weird.
they were down kind of in the dumps for quite a while.
Yeah, it's just so funny. The amount of people that either they know about it and they just never cared to listen, or they didn't even know Black Sabbath did anything after like 1981.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you got?
Well, I did a couple random curiosities here. I've got this Cross Purposes live CD.
Whoa, I've never seen that.
It came in a package with the VHS tape of the tour, also a live
badass.
tape. I don't know what I did with the VHS tape.
Oh, that's got to be that tape would probably be worth some money.
Probably would, yeah. I mean, it's not great.
Yeah.
Apparently, Tony. This is Tony Martin, obviously, and I guess he was not feeling very well at the show and doesn't sound that great. But
okay.
I mean, it's fun to have. Whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. This isn't the kind of thing I'd spend $100 to get, but I have it, so it's cool.
Damn, I would love to have that with the VHS tape.
Yeah, I don't know what it came in a big box, all packaged together, and I don't know what I don't know what I did with it. It might be in a box somewhere in my fucking.
I hope so.
I
hope you find it someday.
Yeah. This is a random bootleg I got. Archangel Rides Again. Apparently
cool.
there was a vinyl boot called Archangel that had this stuff plus more stuff. But this CD has a bunch of weird stuff on it. Here, I'll try to hold it up here.
It looks cool. I like it.
Announcement by Frank Zappa for Madison Square Garden concert. Then 3 live songs. Tony Iommi and Lita Ford doing a blues jam at some guitar festival.
Oh yeah.
Blue Suede Shoes from the Beat Club. Junior's Eyes with Dave Walker on lead vocals went from when Ozzy quit.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I've heard that. I think it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I kind of prefer it actually.
Yeah, I think he would have been a decent fit for the band.
Song for Jeffrey with Jethro Tull with Tony Iommi when he was in Jethro Tull for a hot second.
For like a month or something.
Yeah, just enough to be in that movie, I think. A great rock and roll service. And then this was really weird. There was a radio show called The Metal Shop, October 10th, 1986. It's a song called Tall Stories, written by Bill Ward with his new band, which had Vinnie Vincent and Jack Bruce in it.
Weird.
And I don't think that
I've never heard of that.
Nothing ever happened with that, but
dude, that would have been a sick band. And Jack Bruce has a cool voice.
They played the song on the radio, and it's on here. Neon Nights it was a Dio show in 1990 that Geezer joined him on stage, and then 2 songs from a 1991 show where Brian May played Heaven and Hell and Paranoid with Black Sabbath.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, kind of a neat little curiosity.
Yeah, all the like stuff that you couldn't find anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, and as as it was an actual press bootleg, so it was like $30.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Whatever. I
Yeah.
do have this, which
I never
apparently is
did
worth
get
a lot of
that.
money now.
Is it?
I see it's going for like over $100. Mine's
Weird.
still sealed because I'd already found it sailing the high seas of piracy.
Oh yeah. Must have they must have only limited, yeah, not made very many of those.
Well, they must have had some left because I bought this on eBay from like the official uh Black Sabbath store or whatever, and it was
Yeah.
like it wasn't much. It was like $20,
Yeah.
and it didn't show up, so I filed a claim and got my money back, and then like the day
And
after I
then
got
it
my money.
showed up.
So
Yeah, I never got that, and I didn't get 13 either. But I wanted to get both. I just never managed to get them. I guess
okay.
I'm not ever going to have that EP. Probably
Yeah,
not.
I mean, right now it seems like people are paying through the nose for them. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
It's
okay.
I mean, it's cool to have, but it's not something that
Yeah, the songs aren't too great. I don't think.
no.
I listen to them, but
Um, yeah, they're definitely leftover songs. They're not
yeah.
anything great. Okay, so I've got the reunion, which I'm sure you have too.
I actually used to have it, and I guess I lost it because I couldn't
Oh,
find it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I showed up at a record store in Chicago, I think at 10 in the morning, and stood in line literally all day. I think it took till 5 o'clock, but I got signatures from everybody
Oh shit,
doing it
that's
in store.
that's badass. That was worth it. Worth the wait.
You know what? I'm glad I did it. I would never do it again.
Yeah.
It was kind of miserable, but
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be tough
but
for
it's
those
neat to
kinds of
have
things.
the 4 original members signing that.
Hell yeah.
Bill was super friendly and awesome and shaking everybody's hand. Ozzy was shaking. I didn't think he could even sign. Like he was just like in a trance and like trying to sign everything. And
Oh wow.
Geezer and Tony looked like over it and wanted to go home. But
Yeah, what can you do?
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to sit there and sign for 8 hours either. I get it.
No, that would be boring.
This is a weird. I think this is the last one I'll show, just so we can get on with it. But called Black Mass. I'm sure this is some kind of like semi-unofficial bootleg nonsense. It's the entire Beat Club set, which is only 4 songs: Paranoid, Black Sabbath, Iron Man, and Blue Suede Shoes. But it came in this like blood pack. I don't know. You've probably seen that from other, and it's just all dried out now. It used to be all.
Oh yeah. I have one like that for what's that movie? Ichi the Killer. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
I had this blood pack version, and now it's just like it's crusty. It's just like crusty.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's not as cool now.
I had another one for the Slayer box set had a blood pack on in the special edition, and I just took that out a while ago. Just nothing.
Yeah. It just evaporated, I guess. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I have that I forgot to grab is I told you about it, the Dio years. I finally picked that up.
Yeah.
Just for how many, 3 songs? 3 new songs?
Yeah, 3 songs, but yeah, that's worth having for sure.
They're decent songs. I'd say they're decent.
Yeah. And I've got I didn't pull everything. I've got like the Heaven and Hell Live 2 disc that they put out, and
Oh yeah.
I didn't get they had some weird reissue of a 1981 show at that time that you had to order online. I didn't get that, but
Oh okay.
somehow I'll get through the day, I guess.
Yeah.
It does bother me though that I don't have it.
I know. Yeah.
I want to show my little trinket. This isn't Ozzy related, but I just got the Hell's Headbanger keychain bottle opener.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, I picked up a nothing fancy, just a Coors.
Nice.
Sometimes I'm just in the mood for just like a simple ass lager, you know?
I'm not really a beer drinker, but we bought this for company, the Bell's Two Hearted Ale. I don't know, is Bell's a thing out by you?
Not that I know of, but I'm kind of out of the loop with beer.
Okay. They're our hometown brewery, so everybody goes crazy for it here. So.
Oh yeah? Well, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we got 20 albums, right? Is that what you counted? Okay, cool.
That's what I got.
Yeah, all right. You wanna go first?
All right. We can probably go at the same time for this one, right?
I'm 99% sure. Yep. That's the one. You
don't have this one?
No, I do. I couldn't find it though, but I do
Oh,
have it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I don't blame you.
I
As I
still
said,
try to listen to it every now and then.
as I've illustrated in a recent video, I can't let go of
No,
terrible albums from bands I like. But
no,
I never listen to this.
no.
Whenever I do, I wish I hadn't.
I
This
like pull it out every like 5 years.
this is the one that I will shit on. Like this
Hmm.
is the contractual obligation album.
Yeah,
Um, somebody at IRS Records decided, oh, body count's hot. We'll get
yeah.
Ernie D to, or is it Ernie C? Ernie
No,
C.
it's iced tea.
No, but yeah, Ice T's on a song, but the producer Ernie C. He was the guitar player
Oh,
of Body Count,
oh, I didn't know that.
and the sound is just thin and shitty, and
Yeah,
there you can tell that there's some riffs in there that might have been cool if they'd been developed into something else. But this came
yeah.
out like right after the previous album,
Yeah, they
so
weren't even like, I don't think they were even ready. I think it was like the labels like, we need an album now, and they weren't even like, oh,
yeah,
we're not done with it. Well, just give us what you got.
yeah. I don't know if it was that or a combination of that, and they just had one more album left and they wanted to friggin' get out of this contract, or
I think it was a little bit of both. I don't. Tony's been talking about like, oh, I'm remixing that. It's going to sound way better, but I don't think even with a better production, it's still not going to save the songs. Um, but
I
I
don't
like a
think so.
few.
I don't think so, but on the other hand, I'll probably buy it because I'm an idiot. But
I will too. Well, you got to hear it. It's going to be remixed, so it's
yeah,
going to sound different.
yeah. And I will
So,
also keep the old version that I hate. So
oh yeah, me too. So yeah, that's my number 20 as well.
all right.
1995, the last thing Tony Martin ever did with the band, and I'm sure he's not pleased going out with a
Yeah.
whimper like that, but because he seems like a pretty cool guy. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could even say I like a full song on that album. It's got some moments, but it just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like it's trying to swim and it just keeps sinking. Like you can't
Yeah.
build up enough momentum while you're listening to it to really get into it. You're like, oh, this part's cool, and then the next song, I don't know, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. That like you, like every 3, 4, 5 years, I like,
Yeah,
man, maybe it's not as bad as I remember. And then I listen to
yeah,
it. Like, yeah, it is.
that's what I do. Yeah, I don't ever like it less, but I never like it more. It just
No.
plods along at like a 4 out of 10, maybe. So yeah, that's also my number 20.
So
I guess I'll do.
that's one of two I would say don't even, if you're getting into Black Sabbath, don't even
Yeah,
bother.
check that one out last. The
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
thing you ever do, and you're not going to be like, oh, why did I miss out on this one?
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody references it. Nobody talks about it. There's a reason.
Yeah. So my number 19, I actually never did, for some reason I never did get a copy of this, but I'm gonna go with 13.
Okay.
I don't hate the album actually. I mean, I think I've only listened twice, and I do like it. Like it's very heavy. It's got a nice production. You did kind of change my outlook on it though the other day a little bit, where I said that it sounded way too safe, and then you pointed out how maybe they just wanted to maybe that was intentional to like go right like a circle right back to their roots, because it sounds like the first like 2 or 3 albums.
Yeah. It definitely is safe, but I think like this far into their career, they probably were pretty sure this was it. You
Yeah.
did they you know you don't need any experimentation. Just give people what they want. I get it.
Like there's that one song on there that's like almost the exact same song as like a Planet Caravan,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I like it. I like Planet Caravan. That's a song that I don't understand why people bash on. I think it's awesome. But so yeah, it's got a good production. The production's great. Doesn't have Bill Ward, but a lot of Black Sabbath albums don't have Bill Ward, so
Yeah.
it's not the
Yeah.
first time, and he, who knows, he probably, his health wasn't the best anyways. Maybe his performance would have sucked anyways. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they could have done it in the studio. I mean, they
Yeah,
could have faked it.
if he took his time.
Yeah. I don't know. I became kind of a Bill Ward stan after after meeting everybody, and Bill Ward was the only one who seemed like stoked for it. Like, it's like,
He
oh,
seems
Bill's
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I've watched lots of interviews with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my number 19. How about you?
All right. I'm about to start I'm about to start with my hot takes.
Yeah.
Never Say Die, number 19. I think this album is fucking boring and is the sound of a band who basically was broken up back together to record this record but didn't know what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
The title track is cool. Other than that, like Junior's Eyes, I mean, I like the Dave Walker version better.
I like it. Yeah.
Just even the name, Swinging the Chain, fuck you. I don't know.
Which is the one with Bill Ward singing?
Was it?
Is that
Dude,
Junior's Eyes? I
was
think
that
it's
Air
Junior.
Dance?
Maybe it is Air Dance. Whatever one it is, I like it. I actually really like it. It's like a kind of like a Beatles song. I don't even really like the Beatles, but I dig it.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I used to rate this album way higher, and it was only in the last couple years that
Yeah. It's just not aging well with you.
Through everything, and I was like, "This is fucking boring. Like, what is going on?" Yeah, that's my first hot take. Is that one of the classic Ozzy albums? I guess I think is one of the worst Black Sabbath albums ever made. But
yeah, I mean, you're not alone on that. That's pretty common. That's a pretty common opinion, also.
I don't want to misrepresent anybody, but I think when Heavy Metallurgy did this with King Fowley, I think King Fowley rated it kind of high, which I was
He likes it, yeah.
Yeah,
he likes it, yeah.
But
King's got a weird taste in music, though. He's got a unique.
I would have guessed he would have hated it. It was very strange.
I think, yeah, he likes most of the Black Sabbath albums. I think he pretty much likes everything up to Forbidden.
Okay.
Yeah. So my number 18 is it's gonna be Never Say Die. Although I don't this is everything from 18 up I actually really like. So I actually do like this album. I don't listen to it hardly ever anymore, but I liked it. Like, I got it when I was a kid and I liked it right away. It's not a super heavy album. I guess maybe I like it because, and this is probably what people don't like about it, but it's very experimental. You know, It's like, I really like Hard Road. I don't like every song. I Never Say Die. I like Johnny Blade. I like Junior's Eyes, Hard Road, Shockwave. I think I like the first half a little bit more than the second one, but I don't know. It's got some cool like jazzy elements, which, I mean, I don't know if I would say it works all the time, but I don't know. I like it overall. Not as much, obviously, as the others, but I still return to it from time to time. I don't know. I mean, I don't like it as much now as I used to, but I still like it pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I might swing back the other way too, because I used to like it way more than I do now, and
You might.
My mind, yeah.
Yeah, you might. I mean, it's weird how, like, I can say for a band that, like you said, you know, they're on the verge of breaking up, you would think that they would have just recorded an album that's just like super, like, generic and safe, and it's kind of not. I don't know, maybe they did that because they're like, what do we have to lose?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm just totally making up a story in my head, but part of me is like thinking Tony wanted to do this stuff and he was like, fuck you, if you want back in, this is what we're doing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was like misdirection or if it was like I don't know if they like enjoyed writing the songs and recording them, because I mean, I feel like if they weren't inspired, they would have done something that's just super, super safe, but I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. That's my 18.
All right. Well, my 18 is Cross Purposes from 94. And this is where, like you with your 18, this is where I start. I like all these albums. This one, it's not all great.
No, I agree.
It's got some really cool songs. Eyewitness, Crown of Thorns, Dying for Love, the ballad. I actually kind of like that too.
Yeah. That album took. That was one of the albums that took the longest to grow on me.
Yeah, I didn't get this for the longest time.
Me either. Yeah, it just went in one ear and out the other. I could never remember anything off of it, and now I do.
I was looking. Yeah, Geezer. Yeah, I want to make sure Geezer was on this. I feel like
I couldn't remember either.
again, I'm making up stories in my head, but I'm imagining like the Dio lineup falls apart, and he and Vinny leave, and
Yeah.
Tony just turns like, Geezer, you're still in the band, right? And he's like, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
sure. I don't
it
really
seems
have
like a weird
anything
out
better
for
to
it to be
do.
odd, but
True.
it's fun, and this was like in pre-internet times too, where like
Yep.
I think I want to say this and like Dio Strange Machines came out like the same day, and I remember asking the guy at the record store like, "Is Dio still in Black Sabbath?" And he's like, "Yeah, oh, I think so." Like, no,
Nope.
he's not.
I really like that Dio album, Strange Highways. I like that album a lot.
Strange Highways, but yeah, I think I screwed that up. Sorry.
Oh, you might have been talking about Angry Machines, but I'm not sure which one, which is
I
which.
think you're right. I think it was Strange Highways. I think that was the '94 one.
That album
Uh,
I like. Yeah.
but yeah, it's not great. It's not gems all the way through, but
True. Yeah.
you still got those Tony Iommi riffs, and you've got the
Yeah.
uncredited Eddie Van Halen solo in there, and it's a fun album.
It's probably the least Black Sabbath sounding Black Sabbath album too.
Probably, yeah.
Not in a bad. I don't mean that in a bad way.
Again, I would say if you find this cheap, I don't know what the status of this is now, if it's been repressed or if people are wanting it, but I wouldn't pay a bunch of money for it. But
No.
if you see it laying around, I would pick it up.
And I remember hearing that that album cover. I guess there's a Scorpions album that has the same exact artwork.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Just
know
change
Scorpions
colors?
that well. Yeah. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Either that or the Scorpions wanted to use it. One of the two. It's
okay.
It's
Okay.
either they wanted to or they successfully did. I can't remember.
Was this the tour didn't they tour with Morbid Angel? Like they were doing like I think they did like my small theater.
That'd be
here.
awesome.
Yeah. Like they were playing small theaters, and I didn't even know about it until after it happened. But it was like I think it was once it was them and Morbid Angel and maybe Paradise Lost.
Oh, that would have been sick.
I know. But again, pre-internet, where like you find out about a show like a month after it happened.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to look that up. That'd be a really cool show to see.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 17 is because we talked about including this, "The Devil You Know."
Nice. Yeah.
By Heaven and Hell, since Sharon wouldn't let them use the name.
Yeah.
Even, Tony and Ronnie
it's
both.
Not really Black Sabbath.
No, it is. yeah. You could say it's not, but it totally. There was no. I mean, that was the only Black Sabbath lineup that was operating at the time. So I mean, it's Tony, it's Geezer, it's Dio, and then Vinny Appice, who's one of my favorite drummers for Sabbath. Yeah, Vinny's one of my Sabbath drummer favorites. I like it. It's good. It's maybe not the most memorable album. It's super heavy. It sounds like it sounds like Dehumanizer era Dio, or like Strange Highways, Angry Machines, that whole era.
Mm-hmm.
Not nearly as memorable as Dehumanizer. Kind of weird cover art too. Who did this cover? Wasn't this someone famous? I think it's kind of cool. I like it. It's very evil looking. But yeah, it's a good album. It's just I wouldn't say like I remember even more than maybe 50% of it, but I'll still throw it on from time to time. Dio sounded good till the day he died, basically.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's not mandatory, but I'd say for completionists, definitely pick it up.
You're making me question my ratings now. I want to switch something, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stay with what I had.
There was a live album from that cycle too, but I never did get that. There was a Heaven and Hell live album.
I've got it. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it quick.
I meant to pick it up back when it came out, and I just forgot. I can't remember what year that came out either, but that's okay. Early 2000s, mid.
Here we go. Heaven and Hell in Europe.
Yeah, I meant to get that when it came out.
Had he already passed at that point? I think he might have.
I think he was still alive.
Was he? Okay.
I could be wrong though.
Yeah, it's pretty much what you would expect. Like a couple from the new one.
Yeah.
And
it's worth having.
Black Time Machine. Couple from Dehumanizer, and then the hits. The hits from his other two. This was right next to it, so I just thought I'd grab this. It's a making of DVD that came with it at Best Buy.
Oh, that's cool. Oh shit. Yeah. I don't have that.
I don't.
Yeah, that's my number.
I'm sure I've watched this, but I don't remember anything about it. So it might be just like a 10-minute nothing.
It might be. That's all right. Yeah. It still has Black Sabbath on it, so it's cool.
Henry, let the cat in. Cat's yelling at the door.
Of course, I can't hear it.
Oh, here it comes.
It's probably driving you crazy.
The star is coming in. Anyway,
he's walking in like 17? He owns the place.
Yeah. Doors closed, so that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So Tier is my 17.
Cool.
I really like Tier.
Me too.
I think why I rated it this low is because I liked the previous two way more.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, friggin' Jerusalem is friggin' awesome.
Oh yeah, dude.
The Sabbath Stones, Heaven and Black. That kind of the turd in the punch bowl is feels good to me. Like that.
I actually don't mind that song. I think it's a great chorus. Like Tony's chorus is so good. I never hated it.
As a song, it's okay, but like stuck in the middle of this like Odin Valhalla type, not really a concept album, but sort of. And then there's like this cheesy ballad. And I think what it's not fair, but I think what I think of is they had this they had a video for this on Headbangers Ball. I remember watching it. I was like, "What the fuck? This is Black Sabbath."
Yeah,
there's some like '90s babe strutting around in a short skirt, and then Tony Martin's crooning, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is really good. I would definitely suggest getting this.
Oh yeah, me too.
If you can at all stomach Tony Martin singing for Black Sabbath, this is definitely a worthy.
Which you should be able to, because he's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's people who never will, but
yeah. I think Tony Martin is maybe the most underrated vocalist in heavy metal history. Like he's so fucking awesome.
And I underrated him for years. Like I was like, he's a Dio clone, and it was like, not really. I mean, he can do Dio-esque things, but he's not. He's his own guy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that album that's another album that took a long time to grow on me. And I was gonna say I didn't have it for the longest time, but I did. I think I got that when I was a teenager too. It's hard to find now. You don't see those anywhere. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wised up to the Tony Martin stuff like right at the right time. I think.
So did I. Yeah.
A lot of it you can't find anymore.
Yeah, I guess there's reissues coming, but we'll see. I mean, why wouldn't there be? All right, my number 15, going for. I had it on vinyl. No, I don't. 16. Sorry. Yeah. 16. Yeah. Yeah. Got Cross Purposes.
Okay.
It's funny. I only just started liking this album like a month or two ago. I'd listened to it. I would listen to it every couple years, and I never thought it was bad, but it just like every time I'd play it, and I next day I'm like, I don't remember anything from that.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But I listened to it a couple of months ago because I'm like, I love Tony Martin, so I'm like, I'm not giving up on that album ever, even though I did give up on Forbidden. But yeah, I listened to it a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh shit, why did it just click with me? Oh well, I'm not going to question it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What do you think about the song on here? I don't remember which one, but like, there's like an Alice in Chains song on here, pretty much. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, which one is it? Damn it,
I have no clue.
It's been a while since I've listened to it. Full disclosure.
That throws me off.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. It's not Tony Martin's like best vocal performance, but I think that was probably intentional. I think they wanted to sound like, other 90s bands.
Get with the times. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not using his range as much, but it's still there, and it's a heavy album, and it's definitely not bad. It's middle of the road, but it's like I said, I like it now, as to where it didn't do anything for me before, but
yeah.
Couldn't put it any higher than 16.
Yeah, me either. Man, we're pretty much in sync. I got for my 16, I've got The Devil You Know.
Yeah.
I really have not listened to this in a while. I remember when it came out, I kind of wanted it to be either Heaven and Hell 2 or Dehumanizer 2, and it kind of isn't either one.
Right. Definitely not Heaven and Hell.
No. It's closer to Dehumanizer,
Hmm.
but it is super heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really need to go back to this, but yeah, the songs just did not stick with me
yeah,
um as I wanted them to. But I
yeah.
think it's definitely it's definitely worth hearing.
It
Bible
is.
Black, I do remember, was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um, Adam and Evil. Um, yeah. So this one, I gotta say, this is the one that I didn't real feel that comfortable just slotting in this ranking because I don't think I feel like I've given it enough time.
yeah.
And also, I'm an old fuck. And when did this come out? 2000.
2009. I
Yeah.
also, I mean,
It
obviously, I'm
feels
not
like it
you.
came out. It feels like it came out 2 years ago to me. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, obviously, I'm not you, but even if you, even if it grew on you, I don't think you'd rate it much higher, if at all. So,
yeah, it might bump up a couple spots, but looking at what
at,
I've got, probably not.
yeah, at best, it might. But yeah, so that who knows? You might like it more than me, but I might re-listen to it soon. Actually, now that I've kind of judged it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So my number 15 is so from here up, I like all these albums a lot. Yeah, I wanted to rank this one higher, but I just couldn't. I just wouldn't feel right about it. But my number 15 is Technical Ecstasy.
All right.
Another one of their weird albums. Obviously, the last two Ozzy albums are the most experimental and weird and jazzy and like.
Uh-huh.
I think what I liked about this and Never Say Die is that like no two songs sound even at all similar.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, that's true.
there's so much variety,
Yeah.
Dirty Women or Woman, whatever, Woman. That's probably my favorite song. Um, what else do I like? Backstreet Kids is pretty cool. Uh, Rock and Roll Doctor, that might be my least favorite, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I loved this album a lot when I was younger, and it hasn't aged as well with me, but I still do like it.
Hmm.
I think people bash on this a little bit more than it deserves. I mean, some people make it sound like it's the worst thing they've ever heard in their lives, and it's like, come on, it's not that bad. But yeah, that was did that come out before or after Never Say Die?
Right before, I think it's
Right before.
77,
76 it looks like.
76. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, I like I said, I like both those albums. I don't like it as much as I used to, but I still like it. When I want to hear a Sabbath album that's just weird and one that I don't listen to all the time, I still put it on from time to time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, I'm with you because I haven't shown it yet, and it's higher than yours. So,
Yeah. I almost did, to be honest. I almost put it a little higher, but I backed it down.
well, what am I at? 15.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I actually wrote numbers down this time because I never do, and
I
it's
I did, and then I lost them. There, yeah, 15. So my 15 is 13.
cool.
I've got. Do you have the lenticular cover?
No, I don't. Oh, that's
Oh, that's
cool.
right. You
Yeah,
don't have it. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I
I
remember
think
that
this is
though.
the Best Buy thing.
Oh, okay.
And this one has a bonus disc with four other songs.
Oh, I didn't
So
know.
so the songs that they put on the end EP were the second leftovers
Oh,
because they had four extra songs for Best Buy.
oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, I get everything you said about this, um, but it's just kind of nice that Ozzy's back. Let's do what everyone thinks a Black Sabbath album is, and
Yeah,
Ozzy sounds good on it. I'm sure there's a lot of trickery to get
yeah.
him to sound good, but whatever. Um, I wish Bill was on it, but you know
He wasn't.
he
So
wasn't. So
yeah,
yeah, you know what? I don't listen to this very often, but when I listen to it, I enjoy it. So um,
yeah. I still want to get a copy, even though I still want a physical copy.
there are. I do you know why it's called 13? I still can't figure it out.
No, no, I don't.
Other than it came out in 2013. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that wouldn't
Um,
really make sense, though, would
so I
it?
was like, okay, so there are eight Ozzy albums, and then if you count Reunion and Live at Last and Past Lives, that still only makes it 12. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good question. I have no idea.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can pick this up anywhere. And, you know, if you're into Black Sabbath, you're into Ozzy, it's worth your time. I would say it's not gonna blow your mind, but it's for what it is, for kind of the last hurrah. I think it's a
Yeah,
good.
I
Yeah.
agree. Oh, I just as you were speaking, I just read this. So according to Geezer Butler, they called it 13 because the record company was pressuring the band to write 13 songs, but they wanted to stop at just 10. So they just
Oh,
called
okay.
it 13.
Okay.
Still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. There's a
Yeah,
reason. That's fine.
yeah,
Other
yeah.
than it's a spooky number.
True, true. That's probably part of it too. So I got next. Is this another one? Yeah, here's one of my CDs that I couldn't find. Because I've owned this album at least 2 or 3 times. Uh, this might be weird to put this so low, but I just couldn't put it any higher. But I'm gonna go with the debut from 1970.
Oh,
I know. It's never been one of my favorite albums of theirs. The title track I think is one of the coolest metal songs ever.
yeah.
Uh, the cover is amazing. It is a great album, but yeah, for some reason, and I like every song on it. Like, there's nothing on it I don't like, but I just never liked it as much. I've always wanted one of the original vinyl pressings. Did you ever hear about how, like, when you open it up, it's got a huge inverted cross on the inside?
Hmm.
That has to
Hmm.
be the first inverted cross in an album ever.
Yeah. I heard they weren't too pleased about that either.
They weren't. They didn't ask for it. Yeah, they hated it because they're like, they were, some of those guys were into like occultism and stuff. They were never like Satanists.
Yeah.
You know, there's a difference between, occultism and being a
I mean,
Satanist.
this is just the
Yeah.
CD, but the Castle reissue has like the gatefold in the middle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have one of the crappy old CD pressings, so it doesn't have that. Still cool. I think it's badass that it's in there. I don't care if the band doesn't like it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I think the title track is one of the coolest, heavy songs ever written. But for me, I don't know. I just never liked it as much as everything else that I like.
I thought my ranking was gonna make people mad. Now I'm mad at
No, mine will too. Yeah, mine will too.
you. All right. What do we got? You just put the debut, and I'm at 14. I'm gonna put Seventh Star. So let's get this straight, man. You put Seventh Star higher than Black Sabbath.
I love Seventh Star. I love it. I love it.
I love it too. I love it too. I was gonna put it lower because like there's some question as if it's really even a Black Sabbath album.
I know.
Well, I think
still
the
don't.
original lore was that this was supposed to be Tony Iommi's solo album, and then they made him change it. But then I heard later that no, that wasn't true.
Even though Tony himself said that, but
Tony did say that.
Tony himself said it was a solo album, but there's other people that say that it wasn't. So,
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if maybe he just doesn't remember correctly because it's been so long, or I don't know. I'm not really sure.
So yeah, this doesn't really sound like a Black Sabbath album. It's more like
Doesn't.
a Tony Iommi hard rock album.
Yeah, and the lineup wise, it totally is a Iommi solo album because no one else on there is.
Oh yeah, the whole band had imploded by this point. It was all like journeyman session dudes. And
yeah,
was this the one that had like kind of almost two different lineups on it? Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, well, they had like kind of, yeah, because they had around that time, yeah, they demoed the album with a different singer. I think they demoed that album with
no, that was Eternal Idol.
Yeah, I thought they did it with that album too.
I'm thinking of Eternal Idol. This looks like it had a stable lineup, sort of.
Yeah,
Eric Singer drums, Dave Spitz bass.
Dave Spitz, Danny Spitz's brother.
Yeah.
So weird.
And then Glenn Hughes on vocals. And Glenn Hughes does a great job on here.
Oh yeah. He's my favorite part of the album.
Yeah, yeah. And then, famously flamed out due to cocaine during the tour, and then had to have Ray Gillen replace him. And then
Yeah, I would have loved to have heard an album with Ray Gillen because that guy had a killer voice too. But
have you heard this Eternal Idol version with him singing?
Yeah, it's awesome. I
Yes,
like
I
it.
don't have
Honestly, I
it.
like it. I like it just as much as the Tony Martin version. I like them just about
Yeah,
neck and neck. Yeah. Yeah. That guy
I
had a
don't
killer
have it.
voice.
Didn't they, wasn't that the bonus disc on some reissue they did? I don't
Yeah.
actually have it. I've heard it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't have it. Yeah. No, I dig it a lot though.
So yeah.
All right.
Oh, oh, sorry.
No, you're cool.
This is the. No, it's Eternal Idol. Sorry, never mind. I have something funny to show when we get to
Oh,
Eternal
okay.
Idol.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. So this is out of my entire list. This is probably, if I do get any hate, this is going to be where it's at.
Okay.
Even by you probably. But this is one of the classic albums that for some reason I just never loved, like everyone else does. But number 13, I got Master of Reality. I know this. Oh, you too?
Yeah, I have a one higher than you.
Oh, okay. All right, then I won't get hate from you. But I mean, I would say like
No, we'll
90.
both get hate together.
Yeah, I would say like 90% of even the really old Black Sabbath fans, this is going to be in pretty much everyone's top 3.
Yeah, yeah.
And in a lot of cases, number 1. This is a lot of people's favorite album, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it is a really good album.
Yep.
I don't know why. I mean, I think maybe for me, because it's kind of, I don't want to say one-dimensional. It's got some great songs. This is probably like the most influential album on like the doom genre.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
this sounds like something that could have came out in like 2010.
Yeah.
Sweet Leaf is a great song. I'm sick of it though.
Yep.
Into the Void though, that would be my pick. If I pick one song, Into the Void's fucking amazing.
For sure.
One of the heaviest songs. It might be the heaviest song at the time that it was written. I don't know why. What else was heavier in 1974? I think
71.
71. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do love it, but I mean, out of the I don't listen to the Ozzy era nearly as much anymore, and that's like one of the last few that I usually gravitate towards. I don't know why. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. It's me. It's me, and not you guys.
No, come on. Let's be strong in our stance. I stand. I feel like this is. You're right. This is probably one of the most influential, but maybe this and the debut are the most influential.
Yeah.
Entire bands have based their entire career on this album.
Oh yeah.
It's the stoner doom.
Yeah.
Blueprint.
Totally.
I guess for me, I feel like it feels super short. It's not that much shorter than the other albums, like 35 minutes. But we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 real songs.
Yeah.
Sweet Leaf. If I never hear that again, I wouldn't care.
Yeah, same here. Not that it's a bad song.
Right.
And After Forever has its stupid fucking lyrics. I can't.
After Forever has dumb lyrics. And the only really good memories I have after Forever is the Christian thrash band Deliverance covered it.
Oh, of course.
That was actually the first place I heard it.
Of course.
Children of the Grave, it's overplayed, but I still like it quite a bit.
Another really heavy song for 1971.
Yeah, Lure of This World, Solitude, and especially Into the Void, I do really like. But I don't care. I don't care for the sound on this so much, like the fuzzed out,
raw,
super bassy, which I know is what people like about it.
Because it's heavy and chunky,
Yeah, it's just not for me.
Very riffy, very riffy.
But
this might be their most riffy album.
I thought this was one of my more controversial ones, but you went right along with me, so let's go.
Well, I think we're both not gonna see eye to eye with a lot of people in that one.
No,
I've seen so many people rate that as their number one, and again, I don't say that they're wrong.
Yeah,
I don't care what your number one is. Doesn't have to match mine or yours.
Right? Yeah.
Why would it?
They're just wrong.
That could be. So my number 12.
I'll say that on your
channel. Yeah, exactly. My number 12 is another one that I wish I could rank higher, and I liked this one a lot when I was younger, and I still do like it, but I don't like it as much. But Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Okay.
Let's see, what's the year on that one? I bet but 73.
Okay.
Back in the good old days when bands cranked out an album every single year.
Oh.
It's amazing.
Album tour, album tour.
Yeah, yeah. Well, work ethics, I guess, huh? Maybe my favorite cover art, from them.
Oh yeah.
Covers are very cool. But yeah, I can't. There's nothing on here that I don't like. I don't know. I wouldn't say I never listen to it anymore because I still do, but it's I don't reach for it as much these days. The title track is amazing. Obviously, everyone's heard it. Super heavy. Let's Spiral Architect is great. Killing Yourself to Live, awesome. To me, it's just kind of like a sort of a little bit more of an experimental version of Master of Reality. Still kind of has that heavy riffy thing going on, but yeah, it's a little bit more. They were starting to experiment, and it did work. I wouldn't say that like they needed to pull it back. I actually like Sabbath a lot when they're stretching a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I don't like the first one as much, because it's just so bluesy, and I don't know.
Right.
I like them to push themselves a little bit, like little creatively, which you'll see what I mean even more when I get to my number one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another one where it's like that's in everyone's top 5 basically. So I feel kind of dumb for having it at number 13, or number 12. Whatever.
Unsubbed. It just made me think of this. I don't know if you'd seen this, the Hell's Headbangers comp.
Yeah. Is that vinyl?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they did any comps on vinyl.
Did this one, which was 7, and I think
Cool.
I think 6. I have them right here, or I did. Very professional.
Yeah, I remember that. Seeing that cover.
Yeah, I'm guessing they must not have sold them because I bought this one. And the other one for like I think $5 at a fest. I mean, and really, you're gonna pay like it's a double record. You're gonna pay like $20-$25 for basically a label comp.
The compilation, yeah.
They're neat to have. I was happy to get them for that price.
Oh, dude, yeah, I would have totally bought that for $5.
Yeah. So where am I at?
You should be at number. Is it 12? Because I just did my number 12.
12.
So.
All right. Okay. Let's fire some people up.
Oh yeah.
Mob Rules.
Oh.
Is that your number 1?
No, it's not. But I do have it very high. Pretty high.
Again, man, I love this album, but if I'm gonna choose one of the 2 classic era Dio albums, I choose Heaven and Hell every time. I always pass by this one, and I was trying to figure it out. I was like, I don't know why. I'm looking at all the songs, like, I like all these songs, but
it does have some of my favorite songs. But I agree with you. Heaven and Hell, I think, is better.
Something about just maybe how they sequenced it or the running order. This isn't one I gravitate to.
Love the cover.
I guess I will say "Turn Up the Night." I think is kind of a weak opener. Maybe that it's kind of
not my favorite. Yeah.
But yeah, sorry guys. So
it does have some of my favorite Sabbath songs, though, but a few, not a lot. But it's got a few really killer songs.
But I remember again on that, not to keep referring back to a different channel, but like I'm pretty sure that this ranked real high, like above Heaven and Hell on other streams. And
I was like,
oh, really? Like,
I feel like it's a neck and neck thing. I feel like people are 50-50 on it. Like some like Heaven and Hell more, some like Mob Rules more. It's pretty neck and neck for, I think, a lot of people. You can't choose them both,
Right. But I've got like spoilers. I've got Heaven and Hell way higher. So
me too. Yeah. Me too. All right, my number 11. This will be a controversial one because a lot of people probably think this is a little high, and I kind of agree, but I just couldn't. This is just where I put it. I got the tape for Tear.
All right.
This was the let's see, third Tony Martin album, I think. It came out in 1990. Fun fact about this album. So Cozy Powell, was it? No, Vinny Appice, not Cozy. Was it Vinny? Pretty sure Vinny. Shit. Let me look.
I think it was Cozy on that one.
I think it was Cozy. So he wanted to get this. I only learned this recently. He wanted to call this album, and they almost did. He wanted to call it Satanic Verses.
Yeah,
I
let's
know.
go.
Wouldn't that have been cool?
That would have bumped it up 5 places for me.
Yeah, so he wanted to call it that, and I guess Tony was like kind of on board, but the management was like, let's go with a different name. And Tony was like, all right, that's whatever. But I guess Tony was pretty much on board with it, but that would probably not have done them any favors. But it would have been cool.
Yeah. Well, probably wouldn't have made a difference at that point.
Yeah.
They're sitting on the legacy band label and nobody was paying attention.
Exactly. Yeah. It wouldn't have sold either way. I think I think it has a really strong opener. Anno Mundi, I think it's like one of the coolest songs that Sabbath ever did. Actually, I mean, to me, there's no dud on here. I agree that feels good to me as a weird. It doesn't fit. I like it as a song though. So for me, I do like every single song. This is one of those albums I can put on, and I'm never gonna skip a track or anything like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sabbath Stones. It's awesome. This one did take me a while for some reason. It took me a while to come around to, but once it did, I was just like, oh my God, I fucking love this.
I agree that I had an anti-Tony Martin bias for a long time. I was like, oh, whatever. It's the Tony Iommi project. It's not Sabbath. But once I actually listened to it, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
It is. Yeah. I love it. And people are going to think I'm crazy for putting it at number 11, but that's okay.
It's a little high. I'll say that's a little high, but
yeah.
Whatever. My 11 is Technical Ecstasy.
Cool.
Like you, I rated this way higher earlier. It's dropped a bit, but I still really like it. It just, I don't know, it has a charm to it.
Totally does. Backstreet
Kids, You Won't Change Me. It's all right. The friggin' cheesy Billboard ballad. I love it. I don't know why.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I don't know why either. It's just a cool song.
Gypsy, All Moving Parts. I'm just reading the freaking track list now. This is freaking pointless. Rock and Roll Doctor's cheesy, but I like it on this album. I don't know why.
It's pretty cheap. It's like a honky tonk song or something.
Yeah. And Dirty Women. I fucking love Dirty Women. Like if I had to make a top 10 Black Sabbath songs, that would be in there.
Yeah, it's just like a sad, epic song.
I was so stoked on the reunion when they played it because I figured it would just be, the first 3 albums, and they freaking busted out Dirty Women, and I freaking went crazy. Yeah.
They must just really love it because it wasn't like a hit or anything, I don't think.
No, it was really unexpected. And
it's way too long to be a hit. Isn't it like a 7-minute song? Or I think
it's like 7.5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's too long to be a single.
The cover is fucking dumb. I don't know what that is.
It's just artsy, right? It's supposed to come across as.
I guess it wasn't a Hypnosis or whatever they get, the Pink Floyd guy. I'm sure he was a hip dude at the time, and they got him. It was probably a big deal. They got him to do the album cover, but
that guy. I assume that's a guy. I don't know if it's a collective of people, but yeah, he did dozens and dozens of covers in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's real super sought after.
But whatever. I mean, who cares? Cool cover's nice, but it's not. You don't listen to the cover, so.
Yeah. No, exactly. All right, my number 10 is another album that I guess I don't have. If I do have it, I couldn't find it. But I'm going with Eternal Idol.
Okay.
Eternal Idol from I can't remember a single year tonight.
I think 87.
87. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the debut Tony Martin album. I love it. I think it's so cool. It's not super Black Sabbath sounding, but none of the Tony Martin stuff really sounded like Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
They were trying to, they wanted to push on, and they didn't want to have the same sound for their whole career, and I think totally works. Like I said earlier, Tony Martin's like one of my favorite metal singers. He's just awesome. My favorite song in here, definitely the title track. One of the heaviest songs Sabbath ever did. It's just like a pure doom metal track, super heavy, super dark. But there's nothing bad on this album. Shining, amazing. Glory Ride, amazing. There's nothing on here that I would ever skip. not my favorite Tony Martin album, but it's really really cool. Did you hear about? You ever hear the story about what happened with the cover?
No. Oh, was it? Oh, wasn't it like they painted those people for real?
Yeah, they just had some. They were like college kids or something. They just had them painted, and it like burned their
Almost killed them.
skin. Yeah, they had to like rush to the hospital because their skin started to burn. So I'm sure Black Sabbath had to pay for that and everything, but
Yeah,
I don't know if they
very,
sued them
very
or
Spinal
not. Or,
Tap.
yeah, yeah, very Spinal Tap. So yeah, it's a fun little story. And like yeah, like you said, I really need to get that double disc version that came out what 10 plus years ago.
I think so.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, because that's the one that has the Ray Gillen sessions,
Yeah.
which is awesome. As much as I love Tony Martin, I would have loved to have heard them do an album with Ray Gillen. Uh, I saw,
Yeah.
yeah, that guy though. Obviously, you know, he died, but I mean, from what I heard, they booted him not only because of his health, but I guess he also couldn't write a song to save his life. I guess
Oh, really?
yeah, he couldn't write for shit, and they wanted someone who, I mean, Geezer always wrote the majority, but I guess they wanted a front man that could write shit too.
Or at
And
least do his own vocal like melodies and whatnot. Yeah.
yeah, and that's why they went with Tony Martin, because Tony had no problem with writing his own shit, and so
Okay.
like, yeah, we're gonna go with this guy. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I always felt bad for Ray Gillen, even though like wasn't he kind of a piece of shit? Like wasn't he like
I don't know if it was his fault. He had AIDS, and I guess he infected a bunch of women, but I don't know if he intentionally did that.
I guess I don't know. This is all like rumor nonsense. I thought I heard that like
Yeah,
he knew and he didn't care. But
maybe I don't know actually.
yeah, I don't know.
That would be fucked up.
But I felt bad that like he stepped in and saved the Seven Star Tour when Glenn Hughes couldn't hack it, and then he recorded a whole album, and they're like, "Eh, fuck you, we're replacing you." Like
It's true.
I, I think there might be a Seventh Star reissue that has a live set with Ray, so he's at least on something. But
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I want to say there's another version of Seventh Star. I could have sworn there was a version of Seventh Star with Ray on vocals. It's called Eighth Star. Have you ever heard of that?
that is, I have. Well,
I might be confusing it.
I think you're confusing this. This is.
No, I remember that. I remember that coming
I
out.
thought this was the 8 star, the 1996 with Glenn Hughes.
Because I
Oh, you're talking
downloaded
about.
it one time. Yeah, there's something called Eight. They called it Eighth Star just because it was like an outtakes of Seventh Star.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Ray on vocals, or it might be, or shit, it might be. No, it couldn't be. Glenn Hughes is on the album. Anyways, yeah, I think it's a bootleg though, but
Okay.
anyway, yeah, I can't remember for sure.
Because there was like an aborted album session with Glenn Hughes that
Yeah,
was floating around as the 8 star, and then they eventually did actually release it. But
yeah, man, I wish Tony would do something with Glenn again. They're
yeah,
such a good team.
well, I haven't seen him. I've missed a couple chances, but I've heard he still sounds great. Like
That's what I've heard too. Yeah,
tours constantly, and
yeah.
yeah,
He's the probably the singer that's voice has aged the best out of literally of anyone else in rock or
mm-hmm.
metal. Like he just total genetics because he didn't.
Yeah,
It's not like he took care of himself.
no,
And he does now, but he didn't for like. You ever seen that interview where he's like he talks about how he doesn't remember the 80s at all, like the whole decade.
oh really? No, I haven't seen it, but
He says he has no memories from an entire decade of his life. It's like literally fucked up for
all
10
right.
straight years.
I guess I had fun then. I don't know.
Yeah, he says it with a laugh, so I guess no hard feelings. But
Yeah, he looks way healthier now, like
yeah,
35 years after Seven Star than he did at the time. So
yeah. You can tell now he totally takes care of himself and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
Am I? Oh, I'm at 10, right?
yeah.
Born Again.
Or are you 11? Because I just did my 11.
Oh, my 11 was Technical Ecstasy. Did we might have crossed at some point?
Maybe. Yeah, we might have. That's okay.
Did I fuck up?
I don't know.
I don't know. You're at 10. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I did. I just did my. Oh no, I did my 10. So yeah, you're on 10. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That
No.
was my mistake. You were right.
Yeah, I've got Born Again for 10.
Hell yeah.
really fun.
I dig it.
I'm not a huge fan of Deep Purple or Ian Gillan really, but his voice really works on this one.
Yeah.
Super noisy, weird production that I know a lot of people hate, which is why they
Yeah.
hate this album. But
Yeah.
I don't know, I like it. I think it adds the atmosphere.
Very polarizing album for a lot of people, huh?
Yeah, and I can understand why coming after Dio, and then they put this out, and they're what the fuck, and they got the double baby on it.
Yeah, I like it. I like the cover.
I do too. But yeah, like Disturbing the Priest, I think is a freaking classic.
It
Like
is. It's awesome.
I wish they had kept playing that, but they can't play that with Ozzy the band right now.
No, Ozzy wasn't going to sing that. Yeah.
Zero the Hero, I know. Like, have you ever noticed how it's absolutely the same as Paradise City that came out?
I've heard people say that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
or
I
at
wouldn't
least
be surprised. I'm sure Slash was listening to Black Sabbath.
that main riff, anyway, not the chorus,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. And I remember seeing this. I didn't even know what this was. I remember like at the time, I wasn't even aware Black Sabbath ever had any singers besides Ozzy and Dio. And I saw this in the record store. What is this? And I
Who
saw
sings on this? Yeah.
the back cover. And I was like, oh, what? It just blew my mind. I had no idea. It looks so like sinister but yeah, it's a fun album.
Yeah. I love it.
As a one-off. I don't know if the Ian Gillan experiment could have lasted more than one album, but it's a fun listen for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I dig it. That was another one that I was kind of a latecomer to, but let's see, where am I? Yeah, that's my number 9. Born Again. I think I might have the same version you have, the same pressing.
Okay.
Yeah, 2004. Yeah, Castle Sanctuary.
Yeah, mine's 96, but I think it's the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, funny story about this album. I'm sure you heard. Basically, and I wasn't a big Ian Gillan guy either. Like I do like some Deep Purple, but they're not one of my favorite bands or anything. I guess they just asked him one day. They were hanging out in a bar and they were all drinking, and they asked him if he wanted to join. He's like, "Yeah, sure." And I guess the next the next day he didn't even remember it, but they had their lawyer drop a contract and everything, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "Well, I said I would do it, so I'm going to do it." And
yeah.
I guess he said he had a lot of fun in the band. He said he's not a fan of the album himself, but he said he liked being in the band. He said he loves the guys, and he said they had a great time. And I've heard that in, I guess Deep Purple fans would know this better than me, but I've heard he never sounded the same after this album, and I'm not surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess he just threw his voice out because
okay.
I mean, he really goes for it on this album.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, for sure.
Like it's his performance is so fucking over the top, but it's cool. It's because it's like, I think he was like, Deep Purple were a heavy band, but I think he was like, yeah, this is going to be a heavy metal album. I'm going to try to go up, I'm going to be a Jeff Tate and a Rob Halford, and I'm going to be one of those guys. Or maybe they asked him to, I don't know, but it's cool. Some people, I've literally heard people say that you can't actually like this album. I think people that claim to like it, they're just lying. I think it's awesome. I love it.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I like the cover. You heard about the Stonehenge stage set that they had made, where it's like 10 times bigger than they asked for. I guess I think like almost it cost them so much. They like lost money on that tour because they had to pay so much to the crew to
freaking thing.
Lug that from city to city.
I wanted to say there was a picture in here of it. Maybe you can't really see it, but
and that's what inspired freaking Spinal Tap. Yeah. The tiny Stonehenge. Yeah. You can, I mean, if anyone wants to get any idea of it, just look it up on YouTube when they're playing live. It's so, I mean, this thing takes up an arena. It like almost goes to the ceiling. It's fucking huge. I love watching interviews with the band talking about it, because like Tony, he just laughs about it. Like he laughs really hard when he talks about it, because it was just so dumb.
Oh yeah, and this was I didn't mention, but this was the return of Bill Ward for a minute.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
He didn't tour, but he did the album.
James said Blackmore put up with a lot of the Gillan shit. His first couple of solo albums are outstanding. I think he's talking about the Gillan albums. I have one of them. It is pretty cool.
I've heard the Gillan albums are good. I've not delved into it. I'm pretty
And so
pretty
James,
agnostic on Gillan and
yeah, me too.
kind of don't like Deep Purple that much. So
I always felt like I think I have like 5 Deep Purple albums, but yeah, they've never been one of my favorite bands. I still feel like I'm gonna like them more someday.
they feel like I should like them. Yeah, so I keep coming back every now and then. And you know what? I did that with Blue Oyster Cult for 25
Yeah,
years.
same here.
And eventually
Yeah.
I liked them, so it might happen.
Have you ever heard In Rock, the In Rock album from Deep Purple?
Yeah, I have, but I don't remember it.
That might be their best album. I think that album is really cool. I would
Bev
say
Bevan, yes, James, yes.
Oh yeah, Bev. Yeah,
It was
from
the ELO.
ELO. Yeah. Yeah. Was he on the album or just the tour?
I think just the tour.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my number 9. Took me a while to come around to, but I love it now. That's one of my that's one of my current go-to albums for Black Sabbath.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, my number 9, I almost rated this higher, and then I did reconsider, but I could put it back up. I don't know. Headless Cross.
Love it. I love it.
It's so fucking fun and just good, and every song is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's
so much,
cheesy.
So much Satan on there. There's like Satan in like half the songs. I love it. It's awesome.
So cheesy, satanic. Like,
yeah.
I think Tony said it in some interview, like, yeah, I don't know. Tony Iommi said that Tony Martin just thought like he had to come in with all this devil stuff and didn't know that wasn't what we're about. But I don't know. I love it. It's so great.
It is.
I mean, Headless Cross just on its own, the title track.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's just so great. Just when someone says something is traditional metal, this is what I think of. This is what I want it to sound like.
Yeah, it's almost like a King Diamond album, you know?
Yeah. And nothing ever beats it.
No.
I love every song.
Yeah.
So I guess I really should rate this higher. Like I'm
people are starting to come around to it, but it took fucking decades.
Yeah.
People are starting
I remember being controversial, saying, "Oh, I think Headless Cross is good," and then, yeah, a few years ago, people was like, yeah, me too." So
yeah, people are coming around to it. It's I think it has a way better reputation now than it ever did.
I think so too. Yeah, this was the dark days. This was 1989 IRS records. Nobody gave a shit.
I know, and they should have.
I think I bought my copy new for $5. Like, you know,
can you imagine writing an album so good and just people just like trashing it? Like
nobody cared. Yeah,
I don't get it. You know, maybe it was the timing. Maybe it just I don't know.
Well, I remember like even at the time when I was a big Ozzy fan, like watching. He had a home video out called "Don't Blame Me," like around the No More Tears time, and it was a lot of, you know, Tony took Black Sabbath from me, and now he owns it, but it's not really Black Sabbath, and I kind of bought into that, so I never paid attention to this either at the time. But,
yeah, I don't know. Tony Iommi is Black Sabbath, so
yeah, I mean, yeah, at the time I didn't think that. Now I was like, well, who's the dude who wrote all the songs? So. That's Black Sabbath.
Yeah, he is like he is the one irreplaceable member. Everyone else left at some point.
Yep. So, he kept it going. Right.
You couldn't you could replace anyone, but you couldn't replace Tony.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Tony-less Black Sabbath? That'd be terrible.
I mean, it's on a much smaller scale, but I was just recently watching a Kiss documentary, and they were talking about the Kiss reunion in the 90s. And Ace and Peter coming back in, and they kind of wanted to be full partners, and Paul was just
Paul's like, you guys left, yeah,
what the fuck? We kept this going all these years, and now you want to just waltz back in? It's like, no, you're employees now.
Well, yeah, not only come back, but they wanted an equal cut of the money. But Paul's like, didn't you guys want to leave? And now you're coming back because you don't have anything better to do.
We kept this ship going for the last 15 years without you, so no.
Yeah. James pointed out, he made a good point. It was Geezer Butler actually did a lot of the songwriting.
I thought Geezer was more the lyrics, but I don't know the breakdown.
No, you might be right. Definitely lyrics. I definitely know he wrote like almost all the early lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
You might be right though. I'm actually not sure about that as far as the music goes.
I don't know.
I'm sure Tony.
I think the credits. I think it was credited to all of them, but
Yeah, true.
I mean, based on history, I mean, we can see
True.
Ozzy was not a songwriter, so any
No.
any songwriting credits he got were some kind of deal. So
Yeah, and you can, Tony just has such a signature style,
yeah,
Not that he always sounded the same, but you can when when something was written by Tony.
right.
So where were we at? What
That
did I
was
do?
my nine. Nine. That was my 9.
Yeah. So my number 8, we got Dehumanizer from what,
All right.
92? Was it 92?
92.
92. I also have this pretty cool deluxe edition that has it's got a bonus disc, of course, with some single edits, which I don't care about that, but it's got a live set from 92, Tampa, Florida,
Okay.
which was previously unreleased. So
Nice.
I love this album so much. This the first Black Sabbath song that I ever heard of that I was aware of. I had to have heard Iron Man when I was a kid, but what's it called? Time Machine from Wayne's World.
Yep.
I remember hearing that and I was like, it was the heaviest song I had ever heard. I was like, wow, what is this? And I was like, that's Black Sabbath. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I had heard some of the early songs, but yeah, I didn't really understand what was going on because I was only like 10 years old. But that's my favorite song in the album. This album, I wish I could rate it higher because I do like it a lot. This is probably their most aggressive album. It's just such a heavy album. I don't understand. It's another one of those that a lot of people like to bitch about. I don't really understand. A lot of people call it boring or it's like sounds uninspired. I would say there's maybe a tad bit of filler, but not much. I think it's got some pretty standout songs.
Yeah, I
After
know.
all,
I really enjoy Martin Popov's writing, and I have 2 books he wrote on Black Sabbath, and he fucking hates Dehumanizer, and I just do not get it. But
yeah, some people
that's
are
it.
just like
Opinions are
that.
gonna change. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, every time I see someone online talking about how boring or how uninspired this album sounds, that's not what it sounds like to me,
No. And that was I heard "Feels Good to Me" on Headbangers Ball, and I think it was on Headbangers Ball again that they played a video for Time Machine. I was like, "Holy shit, what is this?" Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm into this.
Yeah, it's Time Machine. So cool. What's up, Rick?
Yeah.
We got Rick in the
Hey,
house.
what's going on, Rick? Um, dude, I hate to do this, but I might have to take a bathroom break in a second. But I'm gonna get through mine. Number 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Eternal Idol.
Yeah.
I thought this would be kind of controversial to put it this high, but you haven't even put it up yet, have you?
Yeah, because I didn't have
Oh,
for me
that's
it
right.
was a number 10. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this should not work. It was, a project that they recorded with one singer and then went back and re-recorded with a different singer.
Yep.
I wanted to say this is the one of the 2 different lineups.
So many struggles in the 80s for this band. I don't think a lot of people realize how much, like, how determined, like, if you ever read like the more negative aspects of like all the shit the band had to go through, like you'll respect Tony Iommi so much more because like what a tough bastard. Like, yeah, it just seemed like his life was a living hell. Like there was always a fucking problem. Pretty much after Ozzy, well, not before Ozzy left, there was just problem after problem after problem, and
yeah.
he just kept going,
And this was then they blundered again. They recorded this and then they went to tour in Sun City in South Africa and then no, they did do it. I was going to say they canceled it, but no, they did. That was in the heart of apartheid, so
oh yeah,
not great press for that.
No, I'm sure.
But I don't know, like the credits here. The player Tony Iommi, and then the players, and list the rest of the band.
Yeah.
We got. Oh, I guess we don't. We got Bev Bevan on percussion, whatever that means.
Huh?
And Eric Singer on drums.
Eric Singer from Kiss.
Yeah. So maybe I might have been remembering that wrong. But this is the gatefold I wanted to show you from this album.
Oh my God.
Look at you. Hi, fellow kids. I've got a cool car.
Wow. Dude, you need a poster of that, like a blown up poster.
I really do. I really want one.
I would hang that up in my living room.
I didn't see there my sweet Camaro.
Oh my gosh.
But, you know.
Tony loves his cars.
Yep. But yeah, The Shining. Oh, holy shit. So good. The title track, so good. Nightmare, so good. Like, it's all good.
Dude, did you ever hear that story about so I didn't mean to interrupt, but just while I remember that story about how when I think it was when they were recording Mob Rules or something, Tony just came back while they were recording. Tony went out for I'm gonna take the day off, and he comes back and guys, I just bought a new car, and he bought like some Range Rover or something. And after Tony went to bed, Dio went outside and he bought a quart of oil and just poured it out under his car. So Tony comes out the next day, is like, "What the fuck, my car!" And like he's like freaking out, and like just a prank run he played.
Nice.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Speaking of Tony's cars, you were saying?
I think I was done. Yeah. Eternal Idol freaking rules. Like, yeah. And it's
underrated.
What's it? My number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I've got 2 Tony Martin albums in the top 10 so far. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, so do I.
Let the controversy begin.
I mean, you can't help.
I'm gonna run upstairs for a second. Sorry, I gotta go to the bathroom.
No worries. I don't know how
you want to name yours so I can.
Yeah, mine is my number 7 is Seventh Star.
Nice.
Yes, I love this album. This is another album that a lot of people downright hate this album. I don't get it. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say I don't get it, but this was a grower for me, I'll admit. This is like one of the recent growers. Man, I just think this album's great. 1986. This is the one album that had Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple on vocals, and I think he just kills it. Apparently he didn't kill it live though, and that was the problem, but one of the problems. But I just think this album's so great. It's, you know, as Scott said earlier, it's kind of notoriously, there's a controversy. No one seems to really know if this actually was a solo album or if it wasn't. Tony himself said it's a solo album, but other people say that it's not. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. Pretty much is an Iommi solo album anyways, because he's the only guy left from the original lineup. You got like Dave Spitz on bass, who is Dan Spitz's brother from Anthrax. You had Jeff Nichols? Was that his name? Jeff Nichols on bass. I get some of these guys mixed up. Let me pull it up. The lineup was Iommi. Yeah, Jeff Nichols on keyboards. I knew I was saying. I just said who was on bass. Dave Spitz. Eric Singer on drums from Kiss, or he would be in Kiss later on. Man, the title track, Seventh Star, so fucking awesome. I could listen to this title track, Scott, forever. The Seventh Star, the title, so badass. Heart Like a Wheel, Danger Zone. Despite the name, it's a great song.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of cheesy, but I love it.
In for the Kill. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's great. It's Glenn Hughes' performance is awesome. I wish it almost makes me want to go back and listen to the Glenn Hughes Deep Purple stuff, because I don't even think I've heard any of it. I know he was.
Yeah, I haven't really either. I haven't.
He was never like their main front man. I guess he did like 30% of the vocals, like a Kiss type thing, I guess.
Was it he and Coverdale at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Coverdale, I think, kind of took the spotlight mostly, but Hughes sings
Graham
like,
Bonnet,
you know.
For him. I don't even know the timeline really.
Of Deep Purple?
Yeah.
Me either. No.
Okay.
No, Graham Bonnet wasn't in Deep Purple. They had a bunch of guys. But yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this was one of the, as I was saying when you were gone, this is one of the more recent, not real recent, but one of the later. This was definitely a grower for me. I didn't always love it, but nowadays this is in my top like 3 of what I go to now when I want to listen to Black Sabbath, just because I I haven't worn it out yet, so
Yeah, that can definitely be part of it too.
it is, and I'll fully admit that's a huge part of it. But
I know like bands I'm super into, like I mean it's happened to me with Marillion in the last few years. Like the albums that everyone hates, that everyone agrees aren't very good, like they're the ones I haven't listened to very much. So I go back to them like, oh,
yeah,
excellent! Like I just find
yeah,
reasons to like them, even if maybe
I
they're not that
know.
great.
Yeah, it's you can't
Just you're
really
not sick
help
of them
it.
yet.
Yeah, you can't really help it.
Ah, shit. We went this long.
Is your audio going out?
All right, my audio went out.
That's okay. That's all right. James, you were talking about Bonnet had the best Rainbow. Did you mean the best Rainbow album? Because I really like that. I really like that what Down to Earth album with Graham Bonnet on Rainbow. That's the one that's what you're talking about. Fantastic. Not my favorite Rainbow album, but it's damn good. I also like the Joe Lynn Turner stuff. So yeah, be cool to do a rainbow album ranking. Obviously, they don't have nearly as many albums, but it'd still be fun to do. I don't have nearly the history with Rainbow as I have with Black Sabbath, but Scott's coming back. There you are. Hey, you made it that far.
Yeah, I was starting to get my hopes up that my phone wasn't gonna take a shit, but
of course.
So is it me?
Yeah, you're at what, number 6?
All right. This I don't know. I thought it would be real controversial, but we kind of been in the step most of the time. True. Number 7, Paranoid.
Cool.
The absolute Stone Cold classic.
Yeah.
I ranked number 7. I think because I'm just real tired of it.
Yeah.
So I was going with a personal feeling on this one. I mean, War Pigs, Paranoid, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, even Fairies Wear Boots. I could never hear those songs ever again. Like it's just been played into the ground. It's not the band's fault. I understand.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about Planet Caravan? Do you like that song or?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's not worn out for me, so there's that.
Yeah, it's not a hit single.
It is a good placement in between Paranoid and Iron Man.
Yeah, it breaks up the pace a little bit.
The cover sucks too. I don't know. That shouldn't matter, but it's so dumb.
Cover's not good at all. Yeah.
And I don't know if I hear Paranoid in another freaking car commercial again, like
I don't need to hear Paranoid ever again or Iron Man.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't feel as strongly about or as negatively about War Pigs. I still kind of like that song. I don't need to hear it though.
Of the 3, I'm not as sick of War Pigs, but yeah. But this is purely a legacy as how high it is because I never listen to this anymore.
I used to listen to that like daily.
Yeah.
I'll admit I don't hear it much anymore either. I still do think it's really, really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just so tired of it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And I mean, it's kind of the classic American classic rock syndrome of.
Oh yeah.
You hear the same 4 Led Zeppelin songs and the same 3 Pink Floyd songs and the same 2 or 3 Black Sabbath songs.
Yeah,
they got so much other material. Just come on.
Radio sucks. There's nothing else you can say. It's just stupid. I don't know who out there wants to still hear those songs.
I don't know. Yeah, who's just sitting by the radio thinking, oh, I hope they play another Brick in the Wall Part 2. I just can't wait.
I know. I haven't heard that song in a week.
Yeah.
So my number 6 is, I put it even higher than you. Headless Cross.
Wow, nice.
1989, right?
Yep.
1989. Yeah, the second Tony Martin album. Yeah, pretty much everything you said. It's just so catchy, and it's just like Black Sabbath, trying their hand at like traditional heavy metal, like I don't know, like I said, to me it almost sounds like it could be a King Diamond album, like you could put that next to like The Eye, or it's not as over the top, of course, as King Diamond, but it's along those lines of more traditional heavy metal. I'm sure Sabbath. I'm sure Tony was trying to fit in a little bit, but when he tried to fit in, I mean, it always worked. So I don't think anything Tony wrote was ever bad.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. The hero on that album is definitely Tony Martin. His vocal choruses and stuff are just so perfect and over the top Satan lyrics, and yeah, Nightwing. There's just so many cool songs on there, and for me, it's a 10 out of 10 album. So it's nowadays, it's for the last 10 years or so, it's one of my, if I pick 5 like go-to Sabbath albums, that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, for sure, man. I thought that was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be controversial. My ranking that so high, but you put it higher than me.
Yep. I figured I would.
You're braver than I.
Maybe.
One up to me when it comes. Yeah, I get it, Rick. Yeah, I understand. But if I'm choosing to listen, yeah, I'm not gonna be rocking Iron Man anytime soon.
Yeah, but if you hear it like when you're out and about, you're like, oh hell yeah, cool, you know. But yeah, you're not gonna play it at home, like by choice.
Oh my! I spilled beer all over my.
James, you're talking about how War Pigs was the original name of the album, and before that they were going to call it Walpurgis, which would have been really cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
My number 6 is Volume 4.
Yeah.
This one really grew on me. I didn't care about this for a long time. I just thought it was kind of weird, and
yeah, me too.
I mean, just such great Wheels of Confusion starting it off. Awesome.
Great song.
Supernaut, Snowblind, Cornucopia, and then like the ending, St. Vitus Dance and Under the Sun. Just so it just really ties together as an album.
Yeah.
You see Teller starting to kind of experiment with different sounds after Master of Reality.
Totally.
Yeah, so this one has really grown in my estimation as I got tired of the more obvious stuff.
Me too.
But as far as a classic lineup Black Sabbath album, this is near the top for me.
It just stands the test of time so well,
Yeah. And with the exception of like Snowblind, okay, maybe you've heard that a little too much, but nothing on here has been played to death.
Yeah. And it's still a really cool song too.
Yeah. What the heck?
Volume 4, Steve's favorite. Yeah. It's
nice.
It's awesome. It honestly, I think at one point that was my number 1 at some point. I think that was my top album. Yeah. At least within the last few years. I'm not sure what changed, but I still like it a lot. Well, I guess I just gave it away. Yeah, it's not my number 1, but it's up there. All right. What do I got? Number 5 for me. Where are we at? There we go. Number 5, Mob Rules. Second album with Ronnie James Dio on vocals. I completely, even though I rated it higher than you, I completely agree how, I like Heaven and Hell much more. But some people, I'd say people are pretty neck and neck when it comes to what they prefer, Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules. But this does have, although I do like Heaven and Hell better, this has Sign of the Southern Cross.
Yeah.
Falling Off the Edge of the World.
Yeah.
Those 2 songs right there make this album just those are some of the best songs that Sabbath ever wrote, I think. I also really like Voodoo's awesome. Turn Up the Night, not that great. I don't think that's the great opener either. Voodoo's fucking great. And it's a cool live song too when Dio sings it. Title track, amazing. I never really liked Country Girl, but it's not bad. It's heavy. I don't know. Slipping Away. Not a big Slipping Away fan either. It's okay.
Yeah, on that album, Sign of the Southern Cross for sure was one of those. Is like I can't rank it this low with Sign of the Southern Cross on it.
Oh man, it's just epic heavy metal, pretty much.
Yeah.
If they could have captured that kind of vibe for the whole album, that would have been sick. Can you imagine that? Just like these epic. It'd be like a Manila Road album or something,
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 of my favorite Sabbath songs ever, and then a couple really good songs. I don't think any of these are bad. to me, I don't know. To me, there's a little bit of filler on here, but I don't. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I think it's classic.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
yeah. This I just yeah. I think my favorite song on this album is probably "Falling Off the Edge of the World." I think.
Yeah, it's an awesome
Yeah.
end of the album.
Yeah. Totally. So yeah, that was my number 5.
All right. My number 5 is Dehumanizer.
Hell yeah.
That a lot of people hate, I guess. I don't know. I think it's freaking great.
Don't get it. Don't get people that hate it.
This was I was gonna say this is my first. No, this was my first Black Sabbath album actually. I bought this on cassette.
Sweet.
And then the next one I bought was the self-titled on CD. So I must not have had a CD player. So this was the first thing I bought. So freaking heavy, man. Like
it is.
There's no reason for it to be this heavy.
I know.
Like kind of a retro, like reunion type album in 1992.
It just kind of has its own vibe, you know?
Yeah. I mean, from the first song, Computer God, is like, grrr.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the heaviest album they ever did.
And even like, because all I'd heard was Time Machine, and I bought this, and at first I was like, oh my God, what is this? This isn't Time Machine. Like, Time Machine was the happy good time song, not really indicative.
Which version do you like better, the Wayne's World version or the album version?
I like the album version now, but I
like the Wayne's World version more.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah. It's not much different, obviously. There's just a slight slight difference, but I like it better.
But yeah, I mean, after all, I mean, I could just friggin' read down the list. Friggin' I is awesome, and they kept playing that live.
Oh, I is cool.
Buried Alive, holy shit! Yeah, I love this. It's really cheesy album cover too, but whatever.
Yeah, album cover's a little dated, but I still like it. I still think it's cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I still reach for this all the time. This is, and it could be a product of my youth. This came out when I was a teenager, and I have good memories of that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I really think it just stands up. I think it's just a really great heavy metal album. So
I think so too.
That's my number 5.
So Rick says Dehumanizer was voted the worst album that year that it came out. Wait, so I don't get it. Where is this coming from?
92. What was the best? Countdown to Extinction?
I do like that album. I don't think it's as good though. I like it.
I'm just trying to think of what came out in 92 that would be like so fucking great.
Obviously, grunge was not hitting its stride, peaking really. I think grunge was probably peaking in 92.
Right.
But it was still the thing. So I guess I don't know. I think that kind of music. I don't think the mainstream wise. I don't think anyone. Yeah, mainstream didn't want to hear the Dehumanizer. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Even my friends, like I'd like pull her into heavy metal, and I bought it and was like, oh, this is cool, guys, listen to this, and they were like, whatever. They didn't care either. So
yeah, and in 90, I guess in 92, like traditional heavy metal was just not super popular. So that didn't help either. Maybe if it came out in 89 or something, maybe it would have been bigger,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 92 just
what was like hot in 92, and it was like
Alice in Chains, probably Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, probably.
Like, Biohazard hadn't really hit yet, had they, or had they? I don't remember.
I think so. I think they came out. I think they were out in the early 90s.
Okay.
I don't know if they were super big though, and yet in 92. I don't think they were. I think Biohazard were mid 90s.
My friends and I weren't hip enough to be into death metal, so it's not like they were into that. So I was just trying to think what was cool.
Pantera maybe?
Pantera? Yeah, probably Pantera. Yeah, you nailed it. Yep.
But if you're listening to Pantera, I don't see how you could hate Dehumanizer. I mean,
I don't either, unless you just think it's a bunch of old fogies. I don't know.
And that might be part of it too. People just weren't respectful of older bands, maybe. I mean,
right.
Where were Priest and Maiden and stuff in 92? And there wasn't a lot of like really, really good traditional metal in 92.
No, not American for sure.
It was considered a dorky thing, Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. Whatever. Some people are dumb. But whatever.
Blood Sugar Sex Magic, nice call.
Exactly. Yeah, there's another huge band probably in 92. Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't my friends. I want to make that clear. I was not friends with Red Hot Chili Peppers fans, but
I never get into that band. Yeah, James says Rage Against the Machine. That's probably like when they first started though, but maybe they were popular right away.
they were just coming out around then. Yeah, yeah.
Dream Theater, yeah, good point, James. Dream Theater, Images and Words. Pantera had Vulgar Display of Power.
Yeah, Vulgar for sure. My friends and I were into Vulgar for sure.
So was I. Yeah, I can't listen to it now, but I liked it.
No, it hasn't aged well.
No, fuck no. I can't listen to any Pantera, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Pantera. I don't care. If someone who likes them, that's fine. I'm just not a fan.
I've gotten to that thing where like I can't stand Pantera just because of who their fans are now.
Oh yeah,
like,
I know.
Like the one guy at work who wears a Pantera shirt all the time, has like meth mouth, and
yeah.
So now when I think of Pantera, that's what I think of.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but they did some cool things, like they're taking out like Satyricon and Morbid Angel and stuff like that, and Immortal, and
oh yeah.
They're they were like not giving nods to the underground and shit, which Metallica never would do shit like that.
It's not really them. It's not fair. It's more how I consider their.
It might be them. It might be them too.
I'm partial to them, maybe. But like a buddy, one of my friends from school that I was talking about, he saw the Pantera, reunion announcement. He's like, "Oh, you want to go to that?" I was like, I couldn't even hold it back. It's like, you could not fucking pay me to go to that thing.
No, I wouldn't go.
I can smell the BO. No. No, if it was in my backyard, I'd close the curtains.
Yeah, no interest. No, thank you. No, if that's what you're nostalgic for, I'm not going to make fun of you. But yeah, I wouldn't go if it was free.
Yeah, it's like all the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying anything. Sorry.
I just saw Steve was putting up all the cool albums came out in '92, and I was like, yeah, Steve, we weren't cool enough for that. We didn't know about that. We didn't know about Bolt Thrower.
Me either. No.
That's why I was trying to think of what we would have been into. That they
you had to have somebody to show it to you back then,
Yeah.
And if you I didn't have friends into death metal.
Yeah, we heard death metal.
Yeah.
When we heard death metal for the first time, it was like, I remember we laughed. Like, it was funny, but I remember, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, inside it was like, scary. I don't want to listen to that. So
yeah,
it took me a while to get into death metal.
I don't think anyone heard that the very first time and didn't have some sort of weird reaction, whether it be good or bad. But it's all right. If you need to log back out, that's fine. I'll just keep going. Let's see. Although I don't know if I skipped you. Yeah, I don't think so. I think I'm at my number 4, which I lost my CD, Paranoid, which I've had. For some reason, Paranoid I always seem to lose it. I probably owned it 4 or 5 times. Somewhere I probably have 4 or 5 copies, but couldn't find it. But yeah, number 4, Paranoid from 1971. I know that might be, or 1970. Yeah, that's right. Because they had 2 albums out in 70. Like Scott said, it's an amazing album, but it's hard to rank any higher. Or it was hard for me to even put it number 4, just because I've worn it out. Like I'm so tired of Paranoid, but I still do. I still think it's an amazing album. I think I like the second track or second side way more than the first. Like Electric Funeral's awesome. Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, Fairies Wear Boots. That's pretty sick. That's a pretty sick 4-track run there. So let's see, where's Scott? Yeah, Rick, Pantera and Tool fans can be obnoxious. Yeah, Tool's another band where it's just like, I don't like mocking people or making fun of people, but Tool fans are they just seem pretentious to me. Yeah, Body Count released Cop Killer, probably overshadowed a lot. Maybe. Yeah, I was only 10 in 92, so I don't know. Burzum too, yeah, Burzum fans. I don't think we even need to go there. Steve graduated in 92. Yeah, I was only 10. I grew up in like the worst time ever. Just with no internet, and they were living in a small town. I didn't have anything. I didn't have access to anything cool until like late 90s, early 2000s. Scott's coming back. He's almost here. Almost here. 92, the magazines were calling bands like Sepultura. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, a lot of people call Sepultura death metal. I don't know if I would, but death metal elements, I guess. All right. You got video or sound? It's like Scott's frozen. I hear him typing. At least you made it this far, Scott. We're almost done. There you are. Maybe. You're moving just kind of slow. Let's see. Last three that were important for metal: Helmet, Meantime, Ministry, Psalm 69, and White Zombie. Yeah, I love Psalm 69, Ministry, and I like Meantime too. Helmet.
My shit is fucking up. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm
I
gonna
can hear you.
try something. Sorry.
That's all right. I do hear you though. Yeah, yeah, Steve. I've heard a lot of the older Sepultura fans definitely call it death metal, and obviously they were never like pure death metal, but definitely extreme to say the least. I love Sepultura. Uh, I'd say one of my favorite Brazilian bands by far. Everything up until Chaos AD. Ministry was it for me, but at the time, yeah, yeah, Rick. I didn't know anything about Godflesh until like the early 2000s. Not huge on Godflesh, but I do like some of the early stuff. But yeah, Scott's he has issues with his phone sometimes. Sometimes he can go the whole time without any issues. I just use my laptop. I don't trust my phone at all for streaming or anything. All right, Scott just logged out. He'll be back. He'll be back. Oh man, Rick, it's got to be late your time. Shit, it's got to be like 1 a.m. for you. You too, Steve. I think you guys are all probably up late. Swans. Swans are cool. Not really my thing. I can appreciate it, but I don't think I'm cool enough for swans. I think I've only, to be fair too, I think I've only heard the one album, like the one with the mouth, or Filth, I think it's called, or pretty fucking heavy, but overall not really my thing. Come on, Scott. We only got we only got 3 albums left. You can do it. Yeah, 3, I think. And it's the top 3 are the coolest. He'll be back. He'll be back. Or I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going just in case he doesn't come back, but he probably will. All right, I'm going to go with my number 3 since my number 4 is Paranoid. Got number 3, Heaven and Hell. First album with Dio, 1980? I'm really bad with dates, so don't laugh at me while I look this shit up. Yeah, 1980. First album with Dio. He was fresh out of, Rainbow. At one point, this is probably my number 1. I feel bad about ranking it at number 3, even, because that's just how much I love this album. 10 out of 10 album, I would say. Favorite tracks, let's see. Well, the title track, I think, is one of the best songs Sabbath ever wrote. Heaven and Hell title track. Die Young, also amazing. Track the ending track, Lonely is the Word, amazing. And everything else is great. Almost everything that Dio ever did for me is always like, there's always like 3 or 4 songs that I think are just top tier, and then the rest I usually just think are good, decent to good, but maybe not great. Also, one of the coolest cover arts too. I need like a t-shirt or a poster out of that or something. Yeah, classic. I've always been a Dio fan. I know, Rick, you said I think you said Dio's your favorite metal vocalist ever. Pretty sure you told me that. We'll go on to number 2, Volume 4. This was my number 1 album for the longest time, but clearly it's been usurped. So this is their, let's see, obviously their 4th album, 1972. Kind of a proggy album. I think that's kind of why I've always liked this so much, since I love prog. I think earlier Sabbath, I think they excelled when they were kind of taking chances, experimenting a little bit, and that's why I like albums like this so much more than stuff like Master of Reality or even Paranoid. Masterpiece, you're doing Masters number 1. We'll see, James. But I already did Master of Reality. So Master of Reality was my number, was actually my number 13. So I'm embarrassed to admit that, but I think Scott's coming back. See how it goes. See if I can hear you.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep. You're moving.
Okay. I'm very sorry for screwing your stream up with my shitty tech.
Every stream, someone always has difficulties. I think it's just to be expected. So I went a little bit ahead while you were gone. So I'll just let you know what you missed.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see. I think what you missed was Mob Rules number 5, Paranoid number 4, Heaven and Hell number 3, and Volume 4 was my number 2. I was just talking about what I like.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. I love how they were taking chances on this album. They were really coming into their own as songwriters. The songwriting here is just stellar. They were starting to write these like long songs. Wheels of Confusion, the debut track. I don't know. Yeah, you got what's his name? Yeah, John Lord. Not John Lord. Rick Wakeman from Yes. He did keyboards on like a couple of the tracks here. It was at least 1 or 2 songs. I guess he became really, really good friends with the band. They tried to pay him money for his keyboard work and all. He only just he basically got his payment in beer. He wouldn't accept any money from them. He just said, "Yeah, give me some beer." I guess he liked to drink a lot. So I guess Rick Wakeman, he loved the Sabbath guys so much that he actually he almost joined the band. I guess they asked him to join permanently, but he didn't.
I guess if he liked to drink, it was a better band.
Or it was the other way. Right? I think he asked them if he could join, and they're just like, "Oh, we don't really need a full-time keyboard player," but still a cool story. Yeah, this album, like I said, I've said it a couple times already, but this was, for the longest time, this was my number 1. But it's over the last couple years, it's been usurped, and I'm almost kind of sad about that because it is a really amazing album, but it's not my number 1. So you might have a few to go through.
They can all be number 1 in your heart, but we have to make
That's true.
Make a list.
That's true.
My number 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. There we go. This was almost even higher, but Who Are You is pretty terrible. I dragged it down a little bit.
I don't really like it either too much. Yeah, it's a little
but
weird.
Yeah, I mean, the title track is awesome. National Acrobat, Sabracadabra, Killing Yourself to Live, Spiral Architect, all of this. And they were kind of continuing on from Volume 4 in this and experimenting a little bit. I don't know, man. This one doesn't get old for me either. I had this on a horrible bootleg cassette before I ever had the CD, and I love the shitty sounding version. So I guess when I got the real how it was supposed to sound, I liked it even more.
You're like, oh wow, it doesn't sound.
Yeah, good. I think this is them almost at their peak, and
yeah,
which will tip off what my number 1 is. But
yeah,
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, my number 4.
Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta keep going.
Yeah,
I flipped back and forth on this, but I went Heaven and Hell number.
Yeah.
I can't really I can't really say anything bad about this. This could be number
No.
one on any given day.
Yeah.
So good though.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah. And all right, Steve. Thanks, man. My friggin' audio went out again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bowl through so you don't have to wait for me.
I can hear you.
So this is my number 3. My number 2. The debut. This was the first classic album that I had. I kind of didn't want to rate it this high just because almost half of it is a cover, the warning.
True.
But it's
That's
so
okay.
friggin' awesome.
Yeah. Definitely ahead of its time.
And just so heavy, so influential.
Totally.
I had to put this number 2.
I wish I had it higher.
And then Sabotage is my number 1.
Yep. Me too.
Just so freaking heavy. They continued their experimentation.
Oh yeah.
But combined it with the heaviness. And I almost didn't put this number 1 because Am I Going Insane is kind of shitty, but I think the rest of it makes up for it. I mean, we all know Hole in the Sky and Symptom of the Universe. Megalomania is one of my favorite Sabbath songs.
Oh yeah.
And The Writ as a closer is just freaking amazing.
Yeah, epic.
So Sabotage, this is my number 1 favorite Sabbath album.
Yep. Can you hear me, Scott, or is your audio good? Can you hear? No?
I'm sorry, man. I can't hear you.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. I'll just keep going. It's my number 1 too.
I won't put you through that.
Scott's probably gone for good, but yeah, my number 1 as well. Sabotage. James, you called it. This album is like the pinnacle of Black Sabbath, experimenting with their sound. To me, this is just so many steps above, Paranoid and the debut and stuff like Master of Reality. It's so experimental that it's one of those things where it easily, they could have taken it too far and it not worked, but it totally did. I would have liked to have seen them continue on in this kind of vein. I mean, they did keep experimenting. I mean, they went, like you could say Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy are pretty experimental as well, but I don't know. I think yeah, I don't know. I guess you could say Technical Ecstasy kind of followed this, but maybe not in the right way. It's just not as good. For those of you that missed it, I ranked Technical Ecstasy pretty high, but yeah, this is Sabotage is just untouchable. Pretty much everything Scott said. Symptom of the Universe, one of the heaviest songs ever for this early, for 1973 or 75. The Hole in the Sky, the opener, amazing song. The Writ, the final track. What a way to close an album. Close an album just with your most, one of your most epic songs. I also agree with Scott. Am I Going Insane? I don't love that song either. I don't think it's bad. Megalomania. Yeah, Megalomania, probably one of the best songs Sabbath ever wrote. Never did understand the cover art, but I don't think the band understands the cover art. The famous red pants billboard. Story has it, I'm sure you guys have heard this, but story has it that something about him being really drunk and losing his pants or taking his pants off. And I guess I've heard these are his wife's pants that he put on for the photo shoot. I don't know. I've heard that many times. I don't know if it's true. You got Ozzy wearing some kind of a weird robe. And then on the back, you got Tony Iommi without a mustache. And he looks really weird. He looks like Richie Blackmore. I feel like he looks exactly like Richie Blackmore. I know my camera quality sucks. Oh, Scott, I think it's... I didn't know you're coming back. When your phone gives out, it just goes out, doesn't it? No good? No good?
Dude, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
I'm just going to duck out and let you wrap up. Sorry about that,
It's all good. It's all right. No worries. We're pretty much done anyways. So, anyways, yeah, you guys. I think I'm gonna duck out as well. What are your favorites, James? What did you say your favorite was? And what about you, Rick? Let's see. You can tell the band were balls on acid for that sabotage photo shoot, and probably the entire album as well. But luckily, it just works. Um, yeah, I'm really bad at addressing comments, but I tried to post them up here. But, anyways, yeah, it's 10 o'clock my time. I think it's a good a time as any to call it. Um, I could, I could probably do this ranking on a monthly basis, and it might change every month. But I feel like right now this was a pretty good, I don't know, pretty good snapshot, I guess, of my view of the band currently. I did, for those of you that don't know, I think back in 2018, I did an album ranking, and I wasn't really pleased with how it turned out. So, plus I like to, yeah, I did a really poor job initially. So I'd been wanting to redo this for a long time. What do you got, Rick? Heaven and Hell, number 1, Mob Rules, number 2. Yep, you're a TO guy. James, yeah, that's right, James. You said Born Again is your favorite. I respect that. I respect that. 13 is their best album? Does that you mean their best album ever? I'm not gonna. I wouldn't put you down for that, but I think 13 is okay. I think it's definitely, for a band that kind of was kind of long over it. It's a nice way to wrap things up. I didn't like it as much when it first came out, but I appreciate it a lot more now than I did. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll catch up soon. See you guys.